Okay, gang, batter up. Hello, welcome to AMHG Weekend. It is Sunday, April 3rd, 2016. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf.
And I'm meteorologist Kelly Cass. Typically, we call them, what, the boys of summer, right?
Yeah, we do.
It's so opposite summery weather right now, though. We've got cold, snowy, very windy conditions for millions of you. This morning, 63 million under some sort of wind alert. At last check, over 200,000 customers without power right now.
You know what? And on top of that, there's some of you that may be waking up with temperatures, I can't believe it, below freezing. Below freezing today. What a wake-up call for. Look at the Northeast and look at this. Some snow showers up in parts of northern Michigan. Let's see, the Keweenaw Peninsula getting in on that action. But a lot of wind out there too, Kelly, as you mentioned. It was
breezy even down south. You can feel that cooler air rushing in behind that cold front. That same cold front still making progress down toward Miami, where you may actually get a thunderstorm later on. But otherwise, it's all about the snow around the Great Lakes and the beautiful weather in the middle. Absolutely beautiful weather in the middle, and we take you. That's going to be key. But at the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, especially in Pittsburgh, take a look at this, Kelly. A little bit of snowfall won't keep the Pittsburgh Pirate fans from turning out. You saw there, and unfortunately, all that wind left us without power across parts of Indiana and Ohio, especially. Here comes the wind. It started about yesterday morning between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, and then we saw that wind progress and get stronger as we head toward the east. Look at the darker blue showing up from Illinois through Indiana, Ohio, all the way through Pennsylvania, and in the wake of all that wind, yeah, it did some damage here. We had a lot of wind reports, that's for sure, even over towards New Jersey, where we had some thunderstorm activity as well. That put our winds up around 71 miles per hour. Strawn, Indiana, 67 mile per hour winds. Dulles, were you trying to get a flight in or out? Ooh, it's a bumpy ride there. 66 mile per hour winds there. Beech Grove, Indiana, 65. And Potsdam, Ohio, you also saw some winds gusting better than 60 miles per hour. So no wonder we had some power lines come down, perhaps some small trees as well. And it's still going to be a little breezy out there today. In fact, you can see the winds right now are especially strong down toward the Chesapeake and in between parts of Maryland. We've got those winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. And you can see these lines of equal pressure, the isobars, and how packed close together they are. That indicates where the faster winds are blowing as well. It's all courtesy of this area of low pressure that is just over southern New England right now. And yes, those cold air, we've got the cold air in place, and that's resulting in a lot of blowing snow for some of you here in New England. But the strongest winds are certainly going to be just offshore, creating some pretty big wave heights out here. We're talking winds better than 50 miles per hour. Winds are still going to be howling out there from the Finger Lakes region through the Catskills, gusting better than 30, 40 miles per hour. And speaking of 40 miles per hour winds, we'll have that along the rocky coast of Maine as we go later on this evening as well. So Boston, yeah, we've got the snow today, at times mixed with rain. You're right on that rain-snow line, but yeah, those winds at times, Reynolds, are going to be gusting close to 50 miles per hour. Yeah. Spicy food for breakfast. All right, here we go. Right now, we've got some pretty decent conditions all over the south. I mean, it was very windy yesterday. I was watching the trees bend over as I was sitting on the back porch trying to get some reading done. But yeah, the winds are calmed down for now, but it's still going to be a pretty breezy day. And in the wake of that cold front that moved through Florida, brought us all that heavy rain and thunderstorm activity, we're definitely feeling that cooler influence of that northerly wind. And for today, we're going to be looking at temperatures generally in the mid-60s. Don't forget that sunshine this time of the year is pretty strong, and it's doing its thing out there. 61 for Raleigh, but we're in the 70s around Jackson, down toward New Orleans, and here in Florida, if you're on spring break, you're loving these numbers. 72 in Jacksonville with the sunshine around. Tampa, Orlando, a much better day than what you guys endured yesterday, that's for sure. But Miami, we're going to be looking at those cloudy skies and perhaps a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm as that cold front moves on through. So right now we've got the cloudy skies. Our forecast basically keeps the clouds around. Temperatures pretty much hold steady. They're not really going too high because of the clouds, and we're going to see those highs basically in the upper 70s. All right, for Jacksonville, right here on the first coast, on the northeast coast of Florida, looking at 73 degrees for today. Again, a much better day than over the inch of rain that you saw yesterday. We'll see the sunshine right through the afternoon hours. Don't forget to put on the sunscreen and definitely the hats and sunglasses. Here's a look at our forecast for tomorrow. It looks beautiful. If you like the warmer weather, we're going to be enjoying the 70s from Atlanta up towards Nashville. A lot of folks are on spring break this week. If you are staycationing in the Music City or maybe heading out to the aquarium in Atlanta, beautiful travel conditions right on through. 75 degrees in Wilmington, and we're going to push it to 80 degrees in Jacksonville by the time we get into tomorrow. Tuesday, we see temperatures still about the same, maybe a little bit cooler for those of you in Nashville with that 63-degree temperature, but still 80 degrees in Jackson, also 80 degrees in the French Quarter here in New Orleans. And we're going to be well into the 80s between Tampa and Miami. This is more like your outdoor pool and beach weather, right? You want those temperatures to be nice and toasty. All right, so here's a look at Nashville. I mentioned the up and down of your temperatures, and it looks like we're going to stay dry between tomorrow all the way through Tuesday. Wednesday's our next chance for bringing in some storms, but probably not until later in the day with that high of 64. And in the wake of that, we'll see those cooler temperatures on Thursday, but drier weather returns as well. We're in Phoenix, so I guess it's good in a way that we don't have to deal with the inclement weather, but it's been a while since we've had any rainfall. In fact, the last time it rained in Phoenix was back at the end of January, January 31st, and that's only the second time this has happened, going back about 100 years, looking at the record books, that we haven't had any rain during the months of February and March. Your average for this time of the year between February and March is about 1.9 inches, so 0 so far. And we can see that when we look at the drought monitor. Right now, we're looking at February 1st. Of course, the terrible drought continues in California. But watch the yellow as it really takes over a lot of Arizona and New Mexico, and even that darker shade of orange right where Phoenix is, right there. That's moderate drought that has taken hold of the area. So we could use some rainfall. We could use a pattern change. But as Randall just talked about, the rain here in the west is going to be in the Pacific Northwest, not here to the south, where it's going to stay dry in places like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, 88 degrees. Phoenix, there you are with 93 degrees and blazing sunshine for tomorrow, mid-70s for the Duke City of Albuquerque. Here's our forecast for Phoenix. It looks like we stay dry for much of this upcoming week. Hey, we may see a few raindrops come Friday morning, but otherwise we're back into the sun by next weekend. What if we look really long-term, though? Our forecasts, our long-term models, looking at April, and we are looking at perhaps a pattern change setting up here. So maybe we'll see some above-average precipitation in California, which would be great, but also here in the southwest, we may benefit from more moisture here. We can only hope, right? And then below average temperatures or below average precipitation expected from the northwest right on into the Midwest as well. So we'll see what happens. Reynolds, these long-term forecasts are always a little bit tricky, though. And you're not so good with flying, you might want to take a little medication. It's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride, and there could even be some delays resulting from the weather that we're seeing in the Northeast today. As of right now, though, it's early, so no delays being reported. Your average high in New York City for this April day is 56 degrees. We're not anywhere close to that today. 41 down to 36 tonight, up to 51 tomorrow. Look what happens come Monday morning, Tuesday morning, right through Wednesday. It's going to be chilly with those temperatures below freezing, and then we're still going to be below average all the way through Wednesday. So here's a look at our current readings. We've got 24 degrees in Buffalo as well as Detroit. 5 in Marquette. That doesn't even factor in the wind. Let's see what happens when you do factor in the wind. And yeah, it feels worse out there. Bradford feeling like 4. And over here in Jamestown, southwest corner of New York State, about 1 is what it feels like. That's your wind chill factor. 10 in Buffalo. You got to dress for 16 in Burlington. Lots of layers, thicker coats. And temperatures are going to stay below average. We're going 40 in Boston. That's 12 degrees below average. Syracuse, you're going to stay below freezing all day long. And as we head into tomorrow, we're reached the freezing mark in Syracuse. New York City finally getting up into the 50s, but really up here is the core of your coldest air in New England, where temperatures are struggling to make it up there.
That is, yeah, we need to see those things rocket up. It's definitely some cool times.